Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the vlog. And of course, on Daily Driven Scotland, we do have a new car in the vlog today. And of course, it is my new, for me, 730 diesel. So let's have a quick look around this car and check out some of the features, etc. that this car has, because it is, well, it was £4,000 for me, and this car really is loaded with lots of features. So let's check out my new 730 diesel. So inside the car, of course, this is the 730D SE. So it's a 3 litre diesel, straight six. It's 245 or 250 brake horsepower, around about that. And it's actually so smooth to drive. Now this car didn't cost a whole lot of money in the grand scheme of things. And it's probably, it's what, 12 years old now. It's a 2009 registered car. Did have a mishap in it a few weeks ago and I've had to fix that myself, but unfortunately I did not record that. Kind of wish I did, because I'm sure you guys would have been interested. So, quick look around this car. It is, like I said, the 730 diesel. So we do have, things like power, rake and reach. We do have full electric seats. Of course, we have the 6-speed automatic gearbox in this car. It does have auto hold. It has a heads-up display, which is a very nice function on this particular. Pardon me, on this particular car. You are able to watch DVDs within the car, but obviously you need to be standing still to do that, because that would be kind of silly and dangerous. What else? Aircon works, which is fantastic in a day like this. The kind of things this car doesn't have, because it is the SE, so it is the more basic, is it doesn't have rear seat entertainment, it doesn't have the fridge, it does have air suspension in the rear of the car, but traditional suspension on the front, from what I've gathered through reading up on this particular car. So yeah, a couple of things I want to really do with this car moving forward is I want to drive from Groats to Land's End. There have been other YouTubers who have done from Fort William to London city centre, to the Shard in London, which is fantastic. Now they've done that with a BMW 7 Series or 760 Li, which of course is the V12. So more of a challenge, probably since it was a shorter drive. So we're going to try and do 840-ish miles from Groats to Land. I don't know if this is a good idea, but let's see what we can do in the 730 diesel. It does have a big fuel tank in the back. It is, for the best part, motorway driving. From when you get to Glasgow city centre down to London, and down that way, it is all motorway. However, the north of Scotland isn't a motorway as such. It's single carriageway and dual carriageway. So very challenging terrain, very beautiful terrain. I'm sure we'll get some absolute views in as well when we do that drive. So that's coming up, of course, so stay tuned. And of course later this year we do have the Cannon Boz run. I think that's around about August, September time, if I remember rightly. So really looking forward to that. And of course the guys, Chris, that really organises the Cannon Boz run, of course, fantastic. To get involved with them and the charities that they help support. So, if you haven't already, link in description, head over to Cannon Boz Run on Instagram, give them a follow, and of course, I'm looking forward to that later this year. So, let's get this started up. Of course, the kind of things that this car I thought would have had from get-go is keyless. Now, kind of funny, so you get the standard BMW key fob, which looks more like a 3 Series one, from the thingy, but this is obviously a 730 diesel. So the kind of weird thing is I would have thought that this would have keyless entry, but it doesn't. That's an option. Kind of weird. The other thing is we don't have soft closed doors, so doesn't close. I need to do it properly. not really too fussed about that, but you know, it would have been nice, but not necessarily. We don't have adaptive cruise. We do have the heads-up display, but that's kind of about it. Now, I did say that, you know, I did replace some of this car, so let's go and have a quick look at that just now. So while we jump out the car, I did have an accident in this car a couple of weeks back, and I had to replace the full front end of this 7 Series. And what I mean by full front end is the whole front bumper, the bonnet, the slam panel, and all the plastics behind there. The bonnet isn't perfect. I got that from eBay, and it does need a few things fixed. So for example, there's a ding here. I've went to the guys at Chips Away, and they've quoted me £270-ish to have this fixed, and of course the bonnet resprayed. And the partly reason to get the bonnet resprayed is actually got to do with the paintwork. So you can actually see here and here the paintwork isn't very good, and it's kind of worn. I could buff that out, but we'll get the guys to do it, and at the same time they can reposition the bonnet, because the panel gap here is kind of, you know, I can get my full finger in there. Of course, the previous owner of the donor car that the front end came from did choose to black out the front grille on this, and it is a wrap, and it is looking like it's starting to peel a little bit. Let me know in the comments below, do you like this wrap, or should I, you know, perhaps then, this is controversial for me anyway, is to take the chrome around the car and then black that out. So do we do that, or do we not do it? Do we leave it as chrome, or do we like it? Again, comment below. So this is the first BMW I've ever owned, and of course it is, like I said, the 730 diesel. So let's hop in, let's go for a drive, and let's see what it's like on the road. So, started the car up. It is really warm today in Scotland, and when I mean really warm, it's 18.5 degrees, and for our American viewers, they're thinking 18.5 degrees. Of course, that is Celsius. For us, that's warm. For my friends that live in Florida, etc., they'll be thinking 18 degrees is nothing, but my pasty white skin cannot deal with sunshine. That's why I live in Scotland. Anyway, so I do love driving this car. It is silky smooth. Now, I did buy a couple of things that we're going to check out in this video, and I have been saving a few things, you know, to get this done. So first of all, is I bought myself, and I can already hear the keyboard warrior, it's not the best option. I did buy a Carly adapter. We're going to plug this in, we're going to see what kind of fault codes the car comes up with, and we're going to see what we can do with it. So the first thing is, it's just after 12 here at the moment. I am going to take a drive down to McDonald's. We're going to grab our non-sponsored lunch. I'm going to be trying to be healthy-ish and have a wrap, and once we've done that, we will plug this in, and we'll talk about the drive on the way down there as well. We'll plug this in and see what we can do with the car. So without further ado, let's go and get some lunch and go for a drive. Okay, so this is the 6-speed automatic gearbox. We do have it in comfort mode, which is a kind of more relaxed driving style. So I was able to get 600 miles last week out of the full tank of fuel that was in this car. It did say about 30 miles to empty when I filled that up. So what we can do there is also take that with a big-ish pinch of salt, because once we do the challenge from the very top of the UK to the very bottom, this is not the best idea, Alan. This car is not built for that. Way too big. Good points and bad points about this car. Buying a 730 diesel with high mileage, was it a good purchase, or was it a terrible, terrible decision to make? Well, this car's 158,500 miles on the clock. It drives wonderfully. The challenge with a car like this is it was over £75,000 new. So when this car breaks, the repair costs are relative more so to the cost of the car when it was new than anything else. Believe it or not, the parts don't, deteriorate in price unless you can buy from a breakers or from eBay. So what I want to find from my ownership experience with this car is this car has a lot of features on it that are really, really nice that you would expect from a more modern car. The challenge I have with it is it going to be cheaper to own and maintain, etc., than a more modern car? It'd be interesting to find out. So this car soaks up bumps in the road like no other. In comfort mode, the suspension is nice and soft. The back end of the car does feel a bit wallowy in comparison to the front end, but it's a nice balance. It's not, like soggy and kind of, all over the place. It is actually a very, very smooth, very, very quiet drive. This particular model doesn't have the blinds in the back or the double glazing windows. However, the 730 diesel isn't very noisy. It certainly doesn't make any great noise, and when you give it some acceleration, it does accelerate, and it is extremely torquey, which actually just adds to the drivability of this car. It's not a car made to be driven quickly or in anger. It is nice, it's smooth, and it's made just to get you from point A to point B as comfortably as possible. It is just fantastic to drive. So talking about fantastic, it's lunchtime. So let's grab some lunch, have some lunch, and then check out this car and just run Carly across it for the very first time, and let's see what that's like. So we have our iPhone, and we have the Carly adapter, and we get a little card with the money off voucher thing, which we're just going to set aside. So I've downloaded the app already on my smartphone. We're going to open up the little box that the adapter comes in. We got a little card from the guys, and it basically just says, "This is for you, the gearheads and the car enthusiasts, blah 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 blah." Right, to start your journey, that's the bit we want. Download the app, check. Plug in the adapter, start the app, and connect to your car. Okay, put that to the side. The adapter is in the box, so we're just going to pull out the adapter. Now, just to be clear, I've not put this in the car at all, so I will screen record on the phone, and I'll stick it up to the side of the video here, and let's sorry, first time opening it. Let's find the ODB port, which I believe is under here. That looks like it. Right, let's turn the car off. Okay, we've plugged in the adapter. Got any lights on it? Yep, we've got some lights. Right, let's turn the aircon off so don't kill the battery, right? And okay, so we're going to launch the Carly connected app. Okay, and we have done that. Connect with the Carly universal adapter. Okay, so like I said, this is the first time that I've actually used this application. So you're seeing this real time, and any issues obviously that we have, then you're experiencing them right along with me. So I found the car fairly quickly. It's now getting all the health stuff there. Okay. Let's check for some issues. Let's see what it comes up with. It is an old BMW. If I really thought it was going to have zero issues. Okay, so it's now finished, so let's hit OK. Okay, it's found 2 data points. Mileage check, vehicle VIN number, average speed, driver profiles, other data. So let's do the mileage check, because that's what we're really interested in. Well, apparently we're in the bracket for high mileage. Well, we kind of know that. And it says there's no mileage saved. It shows the average speed of this car is 85.9 kilometers per hour, which would make it around about 56 miles an hour. Like I said, it's not a car to be driven in anger. It's not been tampered or anything, which is good. The VIN number on the engine and the instruments match. Other data. Oh. Again, probably stuff that I would never use. So customization. This is one thing that the system does do, which is the coding. Now, I have read and seen other people's videos on YouTube where they say to be extremely careful when coding certain things on BMW, especially older ones. Pardon me, where it can effectively damage the module within the car. I've also read that this can happen if you try to make changes to more than one option at the same time, and it's usually best not to do that and to do one thing at a time. Okay, so it says it's finished. Let's just have a look here. Okay, so heads up display, instrument cluster, lights, mirrors, CAS, and iDrive. So let's pick iDrive. There's one functionality that would be nice. Let's see what it is here. So video in motion, again, that's something I'd like to turn on. Night vision, the car doesn't have night vision. Turn signals on, heads up display. So again, these kind of things would be nice, but what we're going to do is we're just going to do one thing at a time. Now the car is running. I would have thought normally the car would need to be off for this to function. Now it is the iDrive system, it's just rebooted itself. And there we go, it's coming back up. BMW. Be in shopping, grab something to eat or spend. Let's just mute that. Okay, it says coding was successful. Now, so we've done some coding with the Carly adapter, and it was pretty neat in what you can do. Now it is limited to what you can and can't do on this car, and it is limited by obviously the functionality and the software within the vehicle. That said, this is actually quite a neat little tool. So just to show you a couple of things that I've changed on my car. Now my car here is of course the 7 Series BMW. It does have the older CIC screen here with the older iDrive controller. So the kind of functionality that we've kind of played within here is multimedia, and of course within the DVD section here. So you go into the DVD menu, and as you can see there, we are playing a DVD movie. Now normally that's fine, the car is currently in park. Normally if I put this into drive, this wouldn't work. So if I shift to drive, as you can see, not a problem. Shift to reverse, obviously we're going to get the reversing camera to that back fence. Shift it back into park, get rid of the thing. So there we go. So we now have video in motion, which of course I do not intend to watch this while the car is in motion. We do have a video fit for the kids in the car, and that will keep them happy. So this was the last one that we watched. Well, we watched, I'll use that term loosely. The kids watched. So that's kinda that. On the dash, of course, we can see the ridiculously high mileage that this car has done, and of course if you look ahead just into the distance there, you can see right here is our speed indication for our heads-up display. So a couple of things we added was the mode functionality, so we can actually turn the volume down. We can go into the radio, we can go CD, DVD, save stations, etc. in there. We can also bring up our phone book in there as well. So we can bring up our phone book, we can bring up the saved radio stations in there, and all that functionality works within the heads-up display on the car, which is really neat. Of course, we still get the sat-nav directions that will come up there. The other thing we added is the indicators as well. You can barely make that out because the background's green, but right there we get an indicator turning signal there as well. So that's a couple of things that we've done with the iDrive system on my 7 Series. I have heard back from the guys in Glasgow in regards to what we can do and what we can't do with the car. Simply because of the age of the electronics within the vehicle, we are limited to what functionality we can enable or disable or utilize in the future. For example, this car doesn't have Bluetooth audio, so I can't stream Spotify, for example, from my phone to the head unit without a USB audio adapter or without the auxiliary cable that I have in here already. And of course this car is older, so it does have the cradle, there we go, without one of these. So it's the headphone jack to USB audio jack is in there, and of course we need to utilize that if we want to put the car back together. There we go. If we want to listen to audio, that's what we need to do. Of course we have the mode selector option on the gear stick here, which is really cool, and of course that changes us from comfort mode all the way up into sport. And of course when we change it, we do get an updated view here on the dashboard, so we get options that will appear here. If I can flick up through them, there we go. So we have normal, sport and sport plus, and back down to comfort. And of course changing it changes the CIC iDrive screen, so we have normal, sport and comfort, sport plus mode. Of course we have sport displays and configure sport, so if we go to configure sport, we can change what that does, so drivetrain, chassis, drivetrain, or just the chassis itself. Coming back at that, we have sports displays, and then that shows you your horsepower and torque. For some reason they don't function, these don't seem to function. I did program this again using the Carly adapter to enable this functionality. The challenge we may have though is there may be more instruments behind the scenes required for this to work. Again, if you know that that is the case, comment below. Always would be good to know if that is something that can or cannot be done. So that's kinda about it for this vlog. So again, thank you very much for watching. If you do like this channel, please do remember to like and subscribe, and of course comment down below. I do read all your comments, and of course I'll comment back as quickly as I can. But again, thank you very much for watching. Until the next one, take care.